Hello, my friend. This is Abner Hunter from abnerhunter.com. Happy to spend some time with you on this video. This time around, I want to share with you the news of two cool new promotions in effect plugins and also two cool new deals and important discounts in VST plugins. The first free plugin on this list is the tape MELLO-FI by Arturia, a tape saturation plugin available for a limited time. Next up, also for a limited time, it's the little Radiator by Soundtoys, a saturation distortion plugin based on a legendary mic preamp. The next plugin on the list, it's the brand new mastering tool all-in-one by United Plugins. This is the MasterMind, which currently has a 78% off. And the last plugin on this list is the legendary Oxford Inflator by Sonnox that currently has a 75% off. A very cool mastering plugin to increase the perceived loudness without losing dynamics. As usual, I leave you all of the applicable links related to the content of this video, and I also leave you timestamps in case that you want to move around between the mini segments of the video. Before we begin, I'd like to invite you to my website quickly, where I have some cool freebies for you. You can get some free PDF guides and ebooks for music producers and guitar players about mixing with free plugins, about music productivity in your home studio, and also about how to make more music in less time. Also have some tools such as some collections of guitar impulses, a drum sample pack for rock and metal sound, among other utilities. And finally, don't forget to check out the blog and this channel, which I'm updating weekly with tons of free content. So now let's get straight into the video. The first plugin on the list, it's the Arturia tape MELLO-FI. This is not exactly a new free plugin, but this is a new free promotion. This is a very cool tape saturation plugin based on this mellotron instrument that Arturia recreated this part of the instrument. You have here a preamp section and a tape. Here in the preamp section, you have the drive control. You enable it with this button and you start to add saturation. Then you have the tone control. This will change the character to a much brighter sound. And then you have the noise. This will introduce part of that analog noise that was very common on analog gear. And of course, you have the BU meter that will jump more if you increase more these knobs. And then you have the tape section where you have the floater that will introduce fast pitch variations to the signal. The wah control will introduce slow variations in the pitch. The wear simulates the degradation of the tape, and mechanics, it's the additional mechanical noise that it's introduced to the signal. Here on this button, you can slow the tape down. You choose the bars here. It will stop the tape in a musical way. You have an output and also a filter. Low pass to the left and high pass to the right. You have also some additional controls here. Fast forward changes the way the tape catches the audio, and stereo width will widen the stereo image by offsetting the left and right channels. You have some very cool presets to choose from here that I recommend you checking out. Let's test this plugin. Then we move on with the next free plugin, which this is not a new plugin precisely, but this is a new free promotion by Soundtoys for a limited time. This is the little Radiator, and this is a mic preamp emulation of the 1566A preamp. very used piece of gear in the old days to add saturation and coloration to the sound. With this heat button, you will introduce saturation. You have also a noise control to add precisely that, and a bias control. This is not included in the original preamp. This control turned off. It's the way that the preamp was. Soundtoys added this control just in case that you want to drive it even further, and a mix control to blend the dry and wet signal. The only thing this plugin is missing, it's the output control, because you need to level match the input and output, or an auto gain function maybe would be very, very helpful. You have some very cool, interesting presets to choose from. You can use it in any instrument. Let's take a listen.
Try a little more. You'll not believe in my new disguise. Maybe I should try a little more. You'll not believe in my new disguise.
The first paid plugin on this list, it's the brand new MasterMind by the company United Plugins. This is an all-in-one tool for mastering your music. First, here you have the oversampling, right? This one might be useful for mastering purposes. The more you increase oversampling, the more CPU power it consumes. So you have here a meter of the frequency spectrum, and you're gonna have here the signal before limiter in pink and after limiter in green. First, we have the input, a simple knob. Then we have the match EQ section. The way to do it is you click on this button, listen to the track that you want to have as reference for about 5 seconds, then you turn it off. Then you go ahead and play your track and enable this button, listen for 5 seconds, and then you turn it off, and you are gonna have the EQ match of the frequency spectrum. And you have this, if you want to use a little bit of the percentage of that EQ match, then you have a stereo width control that will expand your stereo image. Of course, be careful with the stereo width, because you can have phase issues when you drive this knob to match. So just a bit goes a long way. Then you have the optimize function that you have here. This control has a secret algorithm by United Plugins. They don't explain particularly all of the things included here, but this works as the Golf Fuzz plugin or the stabilizer mode in Ozone 10. The more you increase this knob, it will correct the curves, it will reduce unwanted frequencies, and you're gonna remove unwanted resonances. It works as a corrective dynamic EQ, but in an intelligent mode. Then you have the EQ section. Here you can increase the tube saturation, then the trim before limiter, and then you have a low and high shelf. Here you choose the frequency that you want to boost or cut, and the same applies for the high shelf. Then we move on to the limiter section. We have the gain. This is the threshold for the limiter. This is the output ceiling. The audio will not pass, and an additional saturation control. Let's take a listen. And lastly, we have the Oxford Inflator, a legendary plugin at this point to increase the perceived loudness and finalize your mix without messing up with the dynamics. This plugin has a very cool sale at the moment. The main function of this plugin is to increase the details in a mix and to increase the loudness. This plugin is highly used in the industry. Instead of looking at it only as a limiter, I like to see it also as a low-level compressor limiter. With the effect control that you increase, you're gonna start to see the meter here. What this does is that it increases the details from the bottom and up. It will increase a ton the details of the mix and also the loudness, but the perceived loudness. You're gonna hear the track louder, but in terms of decibels, it's not necessarily louder. The thing that it's doing, it's increasing the valleys, bringing them up. That's why I like to look at it as a low-level compressor limiter. With the curb control, you will introduce saturation and harmonics. This clip control allows you to take care of the input here, so it will never exceed 0 decibels. I suggest you to have it here for more control. The band split will split lows, mids, and highs. This algorithm works great when you have a ton of information on the lows or the highs in your mix. The effect in, it's just to disable or enable the effect of the inflator. You have an output control here that I suggest you to use it in mastering, for instance, -1 decibel, and also to level match the input and output. I'm gonna use it in a full mix. Please let me know down below in the comment section what you think about this plugins, what do you think about the free ones, the paid ones. Do you have any favorite? Are you looking forward to try one of these? I will be more than glad to read your comment down below. Before we go, I'd like to invite you quickly one last time to my website, amnorhunted.com, where I have some freebies for you, some free PDF guides and ebooks for music producers and guitar players, also some tools such as some collections of guitar impulses, a drum sample pack for rock and metal sound, among other utilities. And finally, don't forget to check out the blog and this channel, which I'm updating weekly with tons of free content. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thanks for your time. I appreciate it very much. I will see you very soon in the next one. All right? Take care.